All right, guys, we're live here. Just wanted to kind of just talk a little bit about the difference between a coach and a trainer consultant. Um, it's really interesting and kind of even get into a little bit about why I became a coach and how that all really played out and like what that means. So, interestingly enough, um, for the most part, for the longest time, up until probably the last like 2 or 3 months, I really sat more on the trainer consultant seat compared to the coach seat. So, what is a trainer or a consultant? A trainer and consultant, those are the experts that they come in, they evaluate things, and ultimately they tell you what to do, right? So when you're doing fitness, when you have a marketing consultant, right? They're telling you what to do. They evaluate where you're at, what you need, and then they tell you, do this program, do this, boom, boom, boom. This is how you're going to get there. This is what you need to do, right? Okay, so a trainer and a consultant, they're the experts that tell you what to do, right? So I guess with that clearly defined, we can then say that anybody in the fitness space falls into the trainer consultant category, not the coach category, right? But then we also have the coach category. What is that? Coaches know that the client, the coachee, is the expert with all of their answers. The coach is the guide, the medium. They help them uncover things, explore that person's own true, authentic, genuine answers, and help guide them to where that coachee is going, right? So in a coach environment with a coach and a coachee, the coach is not the expert, right? The coach might have the tools and the resources, but the client, the coachee, is the expert, right? So if we did a session and maybe we did a little discovery call, I'm going to ask you like, what's going on? Where are you? Where are you? What are you struggling with? What are you trying to do? Right? And you might say, oh, you know what? I'm always stressed out. Well, why are you always stressed out? Oh, well, I work 65 hours a week and then I try to relax on the weekends, and after work I go out for drinks and I party, and then I'm watching Netflix, and then we can go into the things that we can mitigate those things in a different session, right? But like uncovering like, well, what's going on? Why are you always stressed out? Gives the coach in this situation, right? Um, the ability to say, okay, well, here's the information, and this is what you can do, and how can you commit to something to mitigate that stress, right? So, like I said, in a trainer consultant situation, they're the experts that tell you what to do. A coach knows that the coachee is the expert that has all the answers. The coach has the tools and resources and understanding, right, through the process of asking questions to see where they're at and what they need, and kind of just figure things out with them. But ultimately, the coachee in a coach environment is the expert. And it's interesting, kind of like now with like, so many people online and everybody like, I'm a coach, I do this. And like a lot of people actually fall into the trainer consultant category. They're telling people what to do this workout, eat this food, or do this, do that. That's a trainer consultant. So when somebody throws in that coach word, then you can say, okay, well, how are they helping me, uncover and commit to my own answers and solutions in a way that's true to yourself, right? Because everything that you do has to be authentic and true to you, right? Because personality doesn't scale, biology scales. So the mechanisms that work for all of us are all the same, but in different nuances. So I might be motivated by, music and art and creativity. You might be motivated and inspired by, finance, or like, I don't know, like Shark Week or something, right? So all the things that, make us feel different ways, all those things are different for all of us, but the way it works biologically, internally inside of us, are all the same. We just have different things that inspire us, motivate us, and all those things. So that's the difference between coach and then trainer consultant. Trainers, consultants, they tell you what to do. They are the experts that literally tell you do this, 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 and that. And then coaches know that in that environment, the coachee being coached is the expert with all the answers. And it's just about helping them uncover those things and having the confidence to commit to certain things and maybe pointing them in the right direction, right? A lot of Bruce Lee's students said that Bruce Lee was one of the greatest coaches in the world. Why was that? Bruce Lee never gave anybody the answer. He always pointed them in the direction that would show them, that would help them find the answer. But ultimately, Bruce Lee knew that if you give somebody the answer, they don't value it. But if they find the answer on their own, it's part of them. It's meaningful, right? They'll never forget the journey, the process of finding that answer. So, that's a really important thing to even look at yourself. Like, what's important to you and why is it important? Like for me, getting into coaching and getting into like flow psychology and the neuroscience behind it, and not just even fitness, like taking this and packaging it in a way that's meaningful for the world, is because of what I went through and going through depression and, bringing myself to ultimately creating like my super self, right? So helping other people become the best version of themselves is my why, right? Helping people become the best versions of themselves and making the world a better place. And how I do that can be through fitness. How I do that can be through nutrition, but that can also be by coaching positive psychology, coaching burnout proofing, stress management, flow, being more creative, being more hyper focused, knowing how to use stress to make you more focused and productive, but also knowing, hey, too much stress can actually be damaging, right? You can't have zero stress because now you're bored and you're stagnant. Too much overwhelming anxiety, knowing how much stress you can take individually, that would be like falling in the coaching category. Whereas a trainer and consultant might say, oh, just do this because I do it. But what works for one person isn't necessarily what that person needs in that moment. And I think I see this a lot in like fitness, where people are like, oh, well, this is how I got in shape, so do this. But when you look at the variables and a person's lifestyle, like, are they sleeping good? You're not even sleeping what you need to sleep. You're not eating or hydrating properly. So, well, we need to first work on the top down before we get into the fitness, right? So there's a difference in that, right? How it plays out and how you look at the situation. And kind of just getting off on a tangent, like I said, though, it's all what that person needs in that moment. So that's the difference between coach, trainer, consultant. Trainer and consultants are the experts that tell you what to do, right? And then a coach in that environment knows that the coachee being coached is the expert with all the answers, and then helping them guide them to the right direction and using tools and resources to really help them go through that process. But it's weird because like each person, even like, let's say fitness, right? Every person, let's say you have a person, two people, and they both want to lose 20 pounds. But after speaking with them, you realize, okay, well, person A needs this and person B needs this. And they're two different things, even though the goal is the same, right? And some of the variables in that might be the same, but there'll be some differences in there. So that's important to really understand. I'm seeing a comment here, actually. James said, absolutely. Yeah. So I kind of don't see like what you were saying absolutely to, because I'm just seeing the comment now. But, at the end of the day, like we go back to that quote, personality doesn't scale, biology does, right? So when you're looking at people on, like, let's say social media, what gets you going doesn't get somebody else going. So it's hard to really, it's not really practical to just say, well, it works for me, so do this, right? Because it doesn't work biologically that way. Like what drops me into flow might not drop you into flow, right? What I'm doing in my workout right now is probably not what you need for maybe another 6 months. Who knows, right? Like I don't know until we talk, see what you've done, what's been working, what hasn't, where you're at and your skill with like movement and all this stuff, right? Like all that stuff I don't know until we speak. So that being said, I kind of wanted to just go on here and talk a little bit about that. And I've been challenged by Dr. Malaspina to kind of just go out there and say, look, this is what I do. This is why I'm a coach. I am a coach and I do coach and I'm really good at it. So I'm just taking the challenge. And I see James saying that he uses this daily in business. Yeah, man. It's really important to kind of, understand these things. And I appreciate it, James. I'm just, bringing this stuff to you guys. And I just really want a lot of people to understand the difference, especially in like now with like Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, like everybody's a coach and it's a wild, wild west. So, really kind of speaking to people and getting a feel and vibe of what they do, why they do it, like why somebody does something is so important, right? Like for me, I literally used to just smoke weed, play Xbox and make music, go to work, come home, clean, smoke weed, play Xbox, Call of Duty, boom. And that was it. And I just wanted to make it in music and, realizing that I wasn't who I needed. I wasn't who I needed to be to have the things that I wanted in my life and the people in my life. That was a big changing moment for me because I took my power and I used it to start becoming who I needed to be ultimately in the progress and the journey of getting the things that I wanted. And I'm still working on me. I'm still learning and I'm growing, but I also can help other people to do the same in whatever way is true to you and is meaningful, genuine, and authentic for you. Because at the end of the day, like The Rock is The Rock. So like, it's like you can't tell The Rock. My barber told me this last week. He's like, like you can't go to The Rock and tell him, hey man, can you like water it down a little bit? Like it's too much. Like he's the fucking Rock. Like that's who he is. And if you don't like it, that's okay. So take that and apply it to yourself too. Like what is important to you? What does it mean to be you and true and authentic without all of the bullshit that you see on Instagram and social media? Like sitting by yourself and knowing what's true to you. Like those are the questions you want to ask, right? That's what does it mean to be you? What's important to you? Why is it important? What are the things in your life that bring you happiness and fulfillment? And what are the things that you're doing to align with those values and importance and meaningful things in your life and meaningful people as well and experiences? And also, what are the actions and behaviors in your life that don't align with that, right? So like, okay, well, if you want to be a professional NFL player, you can't be like, Snoop Dogg, right? Like you can't just be smoking weed all day, every day and not working out. Like clearly, like, yes, there's NFL players that smoke weed. That's great. And you can do that, but they're not Snoop Dogg smoking blunts all day, kicking back with cognac, gin and juice, chilling, right? So there's got to be an alignment with what you do and what you value, right? Has to be aligned. You got to get this right. So you got to sit down and know, like, what is important to me? Why is it important? For me, growth is important. If I continuously don't grow and become better, then I know I'm not going to get where I want to. Wherever I'm at, whoever I am, I'm going to have those things that are where I'm at, right? So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I kind of went on to some extra stuff, but it's really important for you guys to know if you want to have a discovery call and kind of figure out where you're at in your life and what you're trying to accomplish, and then how we can tweak things in a way that's important and meaningful for you, then I would love to jump on a call with you. Hit me up, message me, comment me, comment on here anyways. And we can schedule a Zoom and see what's up, see what's good. You know what I'm saying? James says no drinking, no smoking. I don't know if you mean in general for everybody or just you in general. But James, hit me up, man. We haven't actually talked for a minute. I appreciate all the love and engagement. Just jumping on here with me. And so I appreciate it. Like I said, hit me up, James, and then everybody else that's watching this, going to watch the replay, whatever. Hopefully you've took something from this. And if you have had some insight from this, I would love for you to comment and let me know in the comment section what that was. Maybe you know a friend that might need to see this video that you could share it with them. And then for anybody that wants to have a discovery call and kind of like figure out where you're at and what's going on and what you will need to, get to that next level in your life, whether it's professionally, with relationships, with stress, with flow, with creativity, depression, all of those things we can go over and work through. Ultimately, those are things, the process of those things will be for you to pretty much commit to. But I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you. James, you're the man. I appreciate it. He says ruin everything. I'm going to get out of here. But again, I appreciate all the love, attention, and energy you guys have given me. So I'm going to get out of here. Peace out.